like you can't delegate a right you don't have, like taxation is theft. Like
Right.
the belief in authority is a lie, right? Like things like that. Or or yeah, anything like that. It's uncomfortable for people to think of these simple things. So they kind of try to project these really extravagant, ridiculous, and also irrelevant scenarios, and they really
Right.
don't matter, right? It's like if you don't know how the cotton will be picked without slaves, does that mean it's okay to enslave people?
Right.
It, it
I totally get it. There's a certain level of comfort in having been in a communist country, having lived in a communist country for almost 20 years. There's a certain level of comfort, and I hate to say this, in the ignorance and in this complacent place, really, as a human being, where you look at the state as this entity as someone or some group of people that are going to take care of you.
right.
I've experienced that myself because even when I was a neocon here in the U.S., I remember thinking, it's great that we have this government that has a great military power to protect us and keep us safe.
Hmm.
Well, we all know very well that's bullshit, right? These people are not protecting us. They don't give a crap about you. They don't give a crap about me. They're not there to protect us. They're just protecting their masters. Yes, indirectly, we may reap some, weird benefits. If we go to war, and I'm using we as the United States, this country goes to war with someone else, maybe, me living in the Midwest here, I get some additional protection because I live 20 miles away from some big Air Force base and so on. But that's not, that's not philosophically sound. That's not a philosophically sound position to hold when you defend the state. That should not be a reason for me to point a gun at you and take your money and call it taxation and, and so on. So,
Right.
uh, I remember even the same similar topic when I was discussing immigration with people. This was years and years ago when soon after I got married and we were struggling with attorneys and paying thousands of dollars to these people for me to get my citizenship because I was borderline being deported, right?
Hmm.
And my student visa expired and I was ready to get kicked out of the country. And I remember thinking, wow, if I'm going through this, why would someone else have it easy when they come here? They should experience the same pain. And of course, that's insane thinking. That's like
Hmm.
slave on slave mentality. But at the time, I didn't know any better. So you're right. The state lends itself to weak minds and ignorant people and folks who are just avoiding this, an effort to think and you know, um, and just make an effort into improving the world, so to speak, because ultimately, man, I mean, if you're thinking that roads are asphalt or concrete roads are the height of human evolution, we would not be flying. There would be no airplanes flying in the skies. Uh, so so yeah, the government and road building, if that's the most we can hope for, we're in trouble as human beings.
I know. Yeah, it's like what you have no. It's a broken window fallacy. The government is one giant broken window fallacy. It's like
Right.
it's not like you can look at the White House and the IRS building and all these government buildings and say, look at that, isn't that, and public school, and look at all these public, isn't that wonderful? We have all these things because of government. No, the real question should be what possible inventions and creations and businesses were destroyed because of the
Right.
funding that was stolen from the productive people to build those things. And that's the
Right.
real tragedy. You never get to see
It
that part.
really is. It really is. You never get to see it. You never get to see the opportunities lost as a result of the state taking, by force all these funds from people, and in essence, just giving them to large corporations because that's what's happening
Mm.
today in this country. I mean, huge majority of the money taken from citizens are simply just redistributed to large corporations in exchange for mostly weapons and who knows what kinds of other government type of services
All
that
right. Right.
only
So
benefit you.
So in an effort to outcompete, because I think I saw a great meme today. It's like in response to how would we live without the government, or how would we abolish the government? I don't really like to say abolish because it's just a belief in authority. But how would we live without the state? Well, the same way that we live without Blockbuster, the fax machine, and the cord phones. That's the same way. We're just going to evolve past it, right? You don't have to destroy anything. You don't have to destroy. It's like saying we have to storm the White House and drag the president out and lynch him and crucify him. No, it's like saying the problem is Santa Claus or the problem is the Easter Bunny. No, the problem is in the people's minds. So that's why I love what you are doing with the Cell 411 is you are actually out competing the monopolized police law enforcement
we're
institution.
beating them at their own game. It really is, and you've said it very well. It all is about a paradigm shift, and the paradigm we currently are in is this world that we live in. The ideas that people have in their heads that the government is there to protect them, and personal safety. I mean, technically, think about it. We've all evolved as human beings over millions and millions of years, however long it took us, you and me, at this moment in time, talking on Skype. We are here because us and our ancestors have been so good at surviving and being safe without getting killed by everything who wants to kill them in this world. We are here because of that. Survival and safety is what we long for most as human beings, as animals and humans. And that is in our very fiber of our being. That is what drives us to survival. And I think the state and these government bureaucrats, that's the nasty, disturbing, beautiful thing about the state is that they've managed to turn that into this controlling, into the chains that are around people's necks today. That's how they use fear-mongering. They use the fear of terrorism and ISIS and, the Russians or whoever, you name it. There's always someone that, is ready to kill you and me, but the state is there to save us. So they've used this paradigm to control us. But the great thing is, I think, and this is why they hate guns, this is why they hate self-defense, because once human beings understand that, hey, we are responsible for our own safety. I'm responsible for keeping my family safe. You're responsible for keeping your children and your family safe. Once people understand that their safety is in their own hands and in the hands of their communities, their neighbors, people next door, that's when the paradigm kind of falls apart, because humans are understanding that nobody in Washington cares about them. Nobody's going to, some politician is not going to show up at your house if a burglar breaks in at midnight. That's ridiculous. Cops are not going to be here. Cops are patrolling or, sleeping in their car somewhere. So I think this is why Cell 411 is appearing, at least at this point in time, to work. It's because it's kind of, destroying this last paradigm that the government is holding over our heads, the idea of personal safety. And once we put this idea of personal safety back into the hands of the masses, back into the hands of the people, empower the people to take that power back and understand that, hey, I am responsible for my community, for my neighbors and my family and in my home, the government suddenly becomes irrelevant. What is the purpose of government once that that fear is removed? Why do we need government after all? So I think Cell 411 will be a winner because of that. And I've already seen it in countries like South Africa, where the government has completely failed to provide safety, even the most basic safety for citizens. There are hundreds of apps similar to Cell 411. We have the best because, the features we have and so on. There are other competitors that are kind of trying to do the same thing. But, man, we're doing really well. And South Africa is a great proving ground for what the future holds, because in the United States, I see a future where, same things are going to happen. The police is going to fail to protect people. Violence is probably going to escalate. All we need is a very small economic disturbance in the economy here. Food to run, food shortages and so on. Can you imagine this country, where the economy collapses and the dollar, crashes? It's going to be chaos.
everyone has a gun, and it's it could be all out war.
Mhm.
And a tool like Cell 411 would be priceless in the hands of the folks, to organize and plan and react. So I think this is why it's going to do really well, and I think it's been fairly successful so far. We've only been around for technically just 4 months or so, and in 4 months we managed to get about 54,000 users.
Nice.
So it's exciting, and my goal is to have 1 million users by the end of 2017, and I think we're on track to to get to that 1 million users.
So for now, it's free, right? Free download. Will it stay that way?
That's right. The app will always be free. We when we released version 1 last year, which to me that was just a beta. I was trying to find, because this is just a personal project to me, more or less. It has been up until recently, and I kept pumping money into it. It's expensive to hire developers. You're talking about basically hiring 2 full-time people and paying them out of my salary.
Wow.
And we're just scraping by. At least we have been.
Right.
And I tried a 99-cent model per download, and that didn't work very well. We live in an economy where the millennials, and most folks who use mobile apps on a regular basis, they expect free apps.
I know.
And we're trying to kind of build this model where we give people a free app. They can use a lot of features for free, but then maybe build a corporate model on top of that, or tons of other professional type of features, and monetize it that way. But I don't think we're ready for that just yet for prime time, although we have some really cool stuff coming up soon. So it's going to be exciting.
Have you had any I'm sure you've got like angel investors, and I think, did Jeff Berwick offer to help you out with the
Jeff Berwick? Yeah, I've had some really interesting conversations with him, and they're still ongoing, to some extent. And I'm definitely willing to work with Jeff as well if things work out. But we did have one angel investor. He invested about $200 and some $1,000, almost $250,000.
Nice.
Yeah, he's from Europe, which is great because we don't have to deal with all the financial market regulators here in the U.S. So that worked out really well. And his investment really helped us a couple of months ago to just kick it up another notch. Basically, I have 4 full-time developers working for me now. I can focus a lot more on development and marketing and pushing the app out. And we've been kicking ass. I mean, we've put out version 3 just 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at it, but we have a new UI. We have a brand new live video streaming engine in the app. So you can live stream video if you want, if you have an encounter with cops and so on. And now we're ready to release full integration with Facebook, to where people's emergency alerts will be posted to their Facebook walls. And also we're going to soon announce the release of a small hardware panic button that you can actually clip on your belt, and you pair it up with your app. So if you're in an emergency or if cops are harassing you, all you have to do is just press the button on your belt or on your wrist, and alerts go out to thousands of people if you so want. So it's we're heading in a very cool direction here. And of course, the future, we're talking about entire fleets of drones that can come and help you if you need help. So we have some really, really cool futuristic ideas on where to take this. So it's exciting.
Wow, that's really awesome. So I'm just curious. So with the streaming, like it goes directly to where? It's a Facebook wall, or it downloads somewhere else, like on a website or something? Where's the video go?
Yeah, so the video streaming we're using, we're using servers distributed. Basically, our video servers are hosted with AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, and they're distributed all over the world. We have a handful of servers on each major continent, so that way someone in India doesn't have to stream all the way to the United States. They stream in Mumbai or Singapore, for example. Same thing for Australian users. That way, the latency for traffic is much lower, so you get much